Well, you saw it. The new ban list was revealed, and it looks like we're gonna have quite a bit of a gap between sets going forward because of the new series coming and all that stuff that they'll announce in December. But this ban list is interesting because, of course, if you haven't seen yet, they decided to affect 4 different decks in the standard format and not touch anything in premium or V premium. And, you know, it's been a bit of a hot topic. So I think let's just get into it and talk about it, see what the hits are if you haven't kept up with it. So of course, premium and V premium, no hits, but in standard, they basically hit Gandiva very hard. They said Stirgana 2-1, which is a very, very strong hit to Gandiva because now, I mean, Stirgana was the cheapest way to build up your bind zone. 1 Soul Blast for 2 binds is really good, and potentially 2 draws as well. And then after that, they choice restricted Willista between Valsbraun and Elvira. So basically saying you either choose your draw engine or you choose the cycle card that makes sure that you can keep plussing in the early game too until the draw engine goes online. So, you know, it's a pretty big hit to Willista in terms of consistency, I think, and will definitely have, like, dampen the deck a little bit, especially compared to set 13 coming out. But I think another happy news is that the unrestricted both GG Swirler, so Jet is back at full power, and Eva and Combine Rusher. Of course, the part I'm most happy about, which means that the new Eva from set 11 is finally playable after all this time, because now you finally have something to put your Counterblast into for the Poison in Paradise Eva that previously didn't really have as much. I think the issue still stays with Eva a little bit of how the CB is used in the early game, but let's talk about all that a little bit. So I think that overall the ban list is fine. I think Gandiva should have lost Best Harvest instead, because Best Harvest was the card that prevents counterplay from Gandiva, right? If you get rid of Best Harvest, that means that Gandiva, you know, when you play against it, you have the choice to not call rears for them, you know, to, or, you know, the choice rather to flood your board with rears in order for them to only get the retire in the big bind and the big power, but not a big hand. Now it's like, whether you call this or you don't call your rears, it's like, they're still going to plus from Best Harvest, but they're going to have a harder time building the bind zone. So they're kind of slowing down the power of the deck a little bit. So I suppose that's a good thing. And for Willista, they're trying to restrict how long the games can go and how long she can live on, which I think is fine in that sense. So I suppose in that way, like, they're trying to take the 2 top dogs and push them down a little bit. But the problem is that the 2 top dogs of the current format might not even be the 2 top dogs of the set 13 format, because both Leonorn and Rejeweled look very, very good. Like, those are 2 decks that look insanely strong going into this next set. There's also, don't forget about Heroes, don't forget about Youthberg potentially. We don't even know the support cards at the time of recording this. There's still a lot of cards missing from the new set, and it already looks quite meta changing. So was it really worth it? People were saying, like, maybe we're not going to see any restrictions on this restriction list because at the end of the day, like, the meta's going to change. So what's the point, right? Richter as well. Yeah, that's right. The new Vanguard. So it's like, you know, people were kind of asking themselves if it's going to be worth to restrict Gandiva or Willista as well. So I think that at the end of the day, the question still stands. I mean, were these hits correct? I personally would have preferred to see Yuika get choice restricted from Willista so that the draw engine still stays, but that, like, upper end that Willista had of, like, getting your PGs back and getting your Persona rides from the top deck, I think that's what made Willista better. I think that's what made the deck become actually a lot stronger. And now it's like, you just lose the draw engine, but that top end is still gonna exist, so it's like, I don't know. And I guess for Gandiva, it's still like, if you hit the 1 Stirgana, it's like, good. You know, if you only get to use 1 Stirgana per game, it's not that abusive. It's when you chain 3 Stirganas one off another where it gets pretty crazy. So I think that's the part that they wanted to kind of get rid of entirely. Bushiroad is justified to not hit Bastion collab yet, just because their recent releases are being a bit slow on the ball isn't too bad. But then what is too slow, right? I feel like sometimes Bushiroad is a bit too slow on the restrictions as well. Like, I would say Gandiva needed to be hit last format, not this format, right? They choose to hit Gandiva and it's already falling out of relevancy potentially slowly because a lot of people know how to play against it too, and it's just become a bit of a bricky mess with too many grade 3s. So we'll see what this is not as slow as it could have been. Yeah, it's not English slow. It's you know, but it's definitely late. I do agree. GG Swirler coming back I think is fine timing wise. And I think that Eva Combine Rusher, I'm very happy about Eva Combine Rusher because Poison Paradise Eva needed you something to use your CB on. I think we probably do cut the dock just because, like, at the end of the day, the dock was cool for a late game meta, but games don't go that long anymore, especially now with the new Leonore and Jewel. I don't think they will. So I'll mess around with new Eva and keep you guys posted. The problem is that, like, you use Combine Rusher CBs early, and you still need 2 CB on your first Eva turn. But I guess it's a more aggressive meta so that you're going to be getting that CB no matter what. But if they don't give you the 2 CBs on your early turn, then I guess the game is going to be going longer by default because they're damage denying you, so they're not rushing you. So by not rushing you and damage denying you, they're actively prolonging the game for you. So in that sense, I think Eva could see a comeback. Definitely won't be tier 1 again. I think she's definitely past her prime at the moment. But I'll be very happy to play with a viable Eva again. I'm very happy about that. Right after I made my video saying that Eva's not viable too. So perfect timing, I guess. But what is there more to be desired? I feel like premium, people have been really asking for a Gridora hit. Obviously, Overtrigger hit in premium too. I do agree with that one as well. I don't think we'll see Overtrigger gone from standard until the mechanics change, which is interesting because we are going into a new anime season after this, starting from January. So because we're going to see character / protagonist change from January onwards, could it be they'll introduce some new mechanics that, you know, obviously they're not gonna, it's not a reboot, it's like the G to the original, right? It's like they're gonna have probably new mechanics, new decks, new characters, new ride lines and stuff like that. Hopefully more robots would be very appreciated for the Braincade side. But I wonder what they're gonna change in that sense. We'll make a separate video talking about potential predictions for the future, but I don't know. Ban list wise, I wonder if they could have done something for the premium side. There's also some random premium stuff that could be unrestricted maybe. Like, I'm trying to think, but you know, there's Ange still at 1, I believe, that I feel like the G Ange doesn't necessarily need to be at 1 anymore. And because the Japanese and English ban lists for V and premium are like actually completely different, it's kind of hard to keep track of what is banned in what. So we'll see. But Trickstar Prayer, I don't think we're going to see a new Trickstar because they said on the official Twitter that Yu-Yu's journey is coming to its conclusion, epic finale and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it could pick up right after Yu-Yu's finale, that's right. I just think it will be a new cast, so I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. Does that mean we're going to end the original season without new Seraph? I guess we'll make a video talking about expectations and hopes and all that kind of stuff, so we'll see. But let me know your thoughts about the ban list in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think they should have hit these decks differently? Do you think the unrestrictions are good? Do you think they're a bit too late? Do you think other decks should have been hit too? Do you think Minerva needed a tap? I personally don't think so. I think Minerva's perfect as she is right now. A lot of the decks felt fine. It's not so, I think people have been kind of echoing this idea that it's not so much that the decks have problem cards, it's more so that the game design has reached a problematic state where it's very fast, we don't have enough ways to defend, and therefore we need new defensive mechanics for this kind of hyper-aggressive meta. And so therefore, I'm curious to see how they're going to try to patch that up. We have a lot of time. The next main set doesn't come out until February. That's a long time away. This next one comes out in September here in Japan, end of September, like the second last day of September. And then the next main set after that is going to be in Feb. So we're going to have, you know, we have the Lyrical set, we have the Stride deck sets, we're going to have the triple rare, triple drive, whatever, reprint booster with like a few new cards in there. Probably like a Masks unit for Keter and Dragon Empire. Maybe it'll be a Jiva, maybe it'll be a Eugene, who knows. And then we're going to have new decks. And I'm assuming that those new decks are going to be starter deck products for this new series that they're going to be starting from January. So it'll be interesting to see and pretty exciting, but we'll see what they're cooking and if they can cook hard enough to propel Vanguard into mainstream once again. That's always everyone's hope, but it's good to see, you know, they're putting in effort, putting in still chunking out new ideas and not just recycling the same old ideas that they did for 3 years with V-Series. I'm always happy about that. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts about the ban list in the description, not the description, the comments below. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's get some interactions going in the comments. I'll try to get back to some of your thoughts too. And yeah, how do you feel about it in general? What do you want to see different for the English restriction list too? But with that, that's gonna be it for me today. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And of course, if you want to get some bonus content unlocked too, consider becoming a YouTube channel member. And you also have some bonus sections on the Discord too, which you can check out in the description below. But with that, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.